The rain hammered against the shelter's grimy windows as I watched my daughter, Emma, play with a headless Barbie doll on the threadbare carpet. 6 years old, and she'd already learned not to ask questions. Not to ask why we left in the middle of the night. Not to ask why Daddy wasn't coming with us. Not to ask why we were sleeping in a room with 3 other families. She just played, quietly. Always so quietly. Now, I sat on the edge of the donated cot, my hands trembling as I filled out yet another form. Employment history, references, emergency contacts. Each blank line felt like an accusation. I had nothing. No job. No family who'd take my calls. No friends left after Marcus had systematically isolated me from everyone who ever cared. Mommy, look! Emma held up the broken doll, her eyes bright with the kind of imagination that poverty couldn't steal. She's a superhero now. She doesn't need a head because she's invisible. I forced a smile, blinking back tears. That's beautiful, baby. Through the window, I watched the street. Always watching. Always terrified I'd see his truck rumbling down the block. It had been 3 weeks since we'd escaped. And every car that passed sent ice through my veins. That's when I saw it. A black sedan. Sleek. Expensive. Completely out of place in this neighborhood where even the stray dogs looked defeated. My heart stopped. No, I whispered, standing abruptly. The clipboard clattered to the floor. Emma looked up, fear replacing the light in her eyes. She'd learned to read my panic like a survival skill. The sedan pulled up directly in front of the shelter. Rain cascaded off its polished hood. The windows were tinted. I couldn't see inside. My mind raced through escape routes. The back exit led to an alley. We could run. We always had our emergency bag packed. Mommy? Emma's voice was small. It's okay, sweetheart. Just keep playing. But my body betrayed my words. I was already backing toward the door, ready to grab Emma and disappear. We'd done it before. We could do it again. The driver's door opened. An expensive leather shoe emerged, then another. Not Marcus's scuffed work boots. The man who stepped out wore a tailored charcoal suit, carried a leather briefcase, and held an umbrella that probably cost more than everything I owned. He looked up at the shelter's cracked sign, checked something on his phone, and walked toward the entrance with the careful steps of someone who didn't belong here, but was trying not to show it. I heard the front door chime, heard Patricia, the shelter director, greet him with her standard protective tone, the one she used with social workers. Landlords and anyone else who might be there to make our lives harder. Can I help you? Patricia's voice carried down the hallway. Yes, I'm looking for Sarah Mitchell. I was told she's residing here. My blood turned to ice. He knew my name. He knew where I was. Marcus had sent someone. A liar, maybe. To take Emma, to drag me back. To finish what he'd started that last night when his hands had closed around my throat and Emma had screamed from her bedroom doorway. We don't disclose information about our residents, Patricia said firmly. God bless her. I understand your caution, ma'am, and I respect it. My name is Robert Halloway. I'm a private attorney. I'm not here on behalf of anyone threatening. Quite the opposite. I'm the executor of an estate, and I have urgent information for Miss Mitchell. I couldn't breathe. Estate? I didn't know anyone with an estate. My parents had died when I was 19 in a car accident that had left me alone in the world. Vulnerable enough for someone like Marcus to swoop in and promise me family. Security, love.all lies. Patricia appeared in the doorway. Her weathered face creased with concern. Sarah? There's a gentleman here asking for you. Says he's a lawyer. You want me to call the police? The man appeared behind her, careful to maintain distance. He looked at me with something that might have been pity, might have been professional sympathy. Miss Mitchell, I apologize for the intrusion. I know this must be alarming, but I've been searching for you for 2 months. It's about your grandmother. My grandmother? The words felt foreign. I don't have a grandmother. My mother's parents died before I was born, and my father's mother. She cut him off when he married my mom. I never met her, never even got a birthday card. Helena Mitchell, he said gently. Your paternal grandmother? She passed away 3 months ago. I'm the executor of her will, and you are her sole heir. The room tilted. Emma appeared at my side, wrapping her small arms around my leg. Mommy's okay. Mr. Holloway's expression softened when he saw Emma. Is there somewhere we could talk privately, Miss Mitchell? I promise you, I'm not here to cause any harm. Quite the opposite. Patricia led us to her small office, staying protectively close. Emma sat in my lap, her thumb in her mouth, a habit she'd broken years ago but had recently returned. 2. Mr. Holloway opened his briefcase with practiced efficiency. Your grandmother had been searching for you for over 15 years, he began. After your father's death, she tried to locate you, but you'd already changed your last name when you married. Marcus wanted me to take his name immediately, I whispered. Another red flag I'd ignored. Another way he'd cut me off from my own identity. Helena was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer 18 months ago. Finding you became her primary focus. She hired investigators, but by the time they located you, her health had deteriorated rapidly. She passed before she could reach out personally. He slid a photograph across the desk. An elderly woman with my eyes, my nose, holding a picture of a young man, my father, in her wrinkled hands. She looked so sad, so full of regret. Why did she cut him off? The question burst out of me. Why did she abandon him? She didn't. Your grandfather did. Helena never agreed with his decision to disown your father from marrying outside their social circle, but she was trapped in her own abusive marriage. By the time she found the courage to leave your grandfather 15 years ago, your parents had already died. She spent the rest of her life trying to find you, trying to make amends. The tears came then, hot and unstoppable. A grandmother I'd never known. A woman who'd been searching for me while I'd been hiding from monsters of my own. She left you everything, Sarah. Mr. Holloway opened a folder. Her estate is valued at approximately $2.3 million. Properties, investments, life insurance. There's also a letter. She wrote it in her final days, hoping I'd find you to deliver it. He handed me a cream envelope, my name written in shaky handwriting across the front. My hands trembled as I opened it. My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, then I've failed to meet you in life, but perhaps I can still help you in death. I know nothing of the woman you've become, but I knew your father. And I know you carry his kindness, his strength, his beautiful heart. I wasted years in fear. Staying with a man who made me feel small because I was afraid of being alone. I let that fear cost me my son. I won't let it cost me my granddaughter, even now. This money is not an apology, no amount could be. It's a tool, a bridge, a way for you to build the life you deserve. Don't let anyone make you feel small. Don't let fear cage you. You're a Mitchell, and we are stronger than we know. I love you, though I never had the privilege of knowing you. Grandmother I sobbed into Emma's hair while she patted my back with her small hands. It's okay, Mommy, don't be sad. But these weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of release, of doors opening, of chains breaking. What do I need to do? I asked, wiping my face. First, we get you out of here, Mr. Holloway said practically. I've arranged temporary accommodation at a hotel nearby. Something comfortable and safe while we sort through the legal paperwork. Then we'll work on finding you a permanent residence, getting your daughter enrolled in a good school, and setting up your financial accounts properly. 2 hours later, Emma and I stood in a hotel suite that looked like something from a dream. 2 bedrooms, a kitchenette, clean towels, working locks. Emma ran from room to room, laughing for the first time in months. Mommy, the bed is so big. And there's a TV. Can we watch cartoons? Yes, baby. We can watch whatever you want. That night, after Emma had fallen asleep in the enormous bed, I stood at the window overlooking the city. I thought about the other women back at the shelter. About Patricia's kind eyes. About the mother in the cot next to ours who cried silently every night. I called Mr. Holloway. I want to make an anonymous donation to the shelter. $50,000. Can you arrange that? Of course, Sarah. That's very generous. It's not generous. It's necessary. Over the next 3 months, my life transformed in ways I couldn't have imagined. I found a small house in a safe neighborhood with good schools. Emma bloomed like a flower, finally getting sunlight, talking more, laughing more, playing with the loud, chaotic joy of a normal 6-year-old dot. I started therapy. Real therapy twice a week, processing years of trauma. Learning that Marcus's voice in my head, the one that said I was worthless, stupid. Lucky he tolerated me, was a lie. I met with financial advisors who helped me set up a trust fund for Emma, invest wisely, and create a budget that would ensure we were secure for life. Not just surviving, actually secure. And slowly, carefully, I started to dream about what came next. The day Marcus found us, I was picking Emma up from her new school. She ran out of the building with a painting she'd made, her backpack bouncing, calling, "Mommy, Mommy," without fear. Then I saw him leaning against a car across the street that my body remembered before my mind did. The fear response is immediate shallow breathing, tunnel vision, the urge to run. But something else rose up too. Something new. Anger. Emma, go back inside to Mrs. Henderson. Tell her your mom needs 5 minutes. But Mommy, now, Emma, please. She saw my face and obeyed, her joy evaporating. I hated that he could still do that to us. Marcus crossed the street with that familiar swagger. That smile that used to make me hopeful and now just made me sick. There's my girls. Sarah, baby, you've been hard to find. New house, new neighborhood really went all out. That inheritance money, right? See, I told you things would work out. Stay away from us. Come on, don't be like that. I've been clean for 3 months. Anger management classes. The whole thing. I'm different now. We're a family. Emma needs her father. Emma needs safety. She needs to not flinch when she hears loud voices. She needs to sleep through the night without nightmares. I never touched her. You think she wasn't hurt watching you hurt me? You think it didn't damage her living in that house of fear? He moved closer. Old me would have stepped back. New me held her ground. That money should be mine too. We're still married, Sarah, community property. I filed for divorce. And that inheritance is separate property received after our separation. You won't see a cent. His face darkened. There it was, the rage that lived just beneath his surface. You think you're better than me now? Think some dead old lady's money makes you special? No. I think leaving you makes me special. I think choosing my daughter's safety over your feelings makes me special. I think surviving you makes me special. He grabbed my arm. I didn't freeze. I screamed, "Help! I need help!" School security came running. Parents turned, phones out. Marcus released me, hands up, backing away with that false charm. "Whoa, hey, just talking to my wife. You're violating a restraining order," I said loudly, clearly. "Officer, this man is prohibited from coming within 500 feet of me or my daughter." The police arrived within minutes. Marcus was arrested while Emma watched from the school window, Mrs. Henderson's arms around her. That night, I held my daughter while she cried. "Is Daddy gone for real now?" "Yes, baby, forever." "He's going to jail for a while. And when he gets out, he's not allowed to contact us. There are laws that protect us now. Because we're not scared anymore. Because we don't have to be scared anymore. Big difference. 6 months later, I sat in a conference room with Mr. Holloway, Patricia from the shelter, and 3 other women I'd met during my time there. On the table were incorporation papers for the Helena Mitchell Foundation. Our mission, I explained, is simple. We provide emergency housing grants, legal assistance, and job training for domestic violence survivors. No red tape. No waiting lists. Just immediate, practical help to get women and children to safety. Patricia wiped her eyes. Helena would be proud. I hope so. I wish I'd known her. You do know her, Patricia said. You're living her dream. Breaking the cycle she couldn't break soon enough. The foundation's first recipient was Jasmine, a woman I'd met at the shelter. Single mother of 3, working 2 minimum wage jobs. Couldn't afford first and last month's rent to escape her abusive partner. We wrote her a check, connected her with a lawyer, and found her a job with a partner company. 3 months later, she sent me a photo of her kids in their new apartment, smiling in front of a Christmas tree. This is what the money was for. Not fancy cars or jewelry. The multiplication of safety. The ripple effect of one woman helping another. 1 year after that black sedan arrived, Emma and I stood in front of a cemetery plot I'd never visited. My grandmother's headstone was simple. Elegant. Helena Mitchell. She never stopped searching. Tell me about great-grandma again, Emma said. Placing the flowers we brought. She was strong, even when she felt weak. She was trapped, but she found a way out. And when she couldn't find me in life, she made sure she could still help me after she was gone. Like a superhero, exactly like a superhero. Emma pulled a drawing from her backpack, a picture of 2 women holding hands across a sky full of stars. I made this for her. Do you think she can see it? I think she can, baby. We sat there in the grass, and I read Emma the letter one more time. My daughter was old enough now to understand most of it. Mommy, are you still scared sometimes? Sometimes. But being brave doesn't mean you're never scared. It means you do the right thing even when you are scared. Like when we left Daddy? Exactly like that. That evening, I returned to the shelter for my monthly volunteer shift. A young woman sat in the intake area, her daughter about Emma's age sleeping in her arms. The woman's eye was swollen shut. Her hands shook as she filled out forms. I recognized that look. The shame, the exhaustion, the desperate hope that this time she'd actually be safe. I sat down next to her carefully, making sure not to startle her. Hi, my name is Sarah. I stayed here about a year ago with my daughter. She looked up, surprised. I didn't look like I'd been homeless. Didn't look like a survivor. That was privilege now looking normal, looking okay. It gets better, I told her. I know that sounds impossible right now, but it does. You're already doing the hardest part. What's that? Her voice was barely a whisper. You're here. You left. You chose your baby over him. That takes more courage than anything that comes next. Tears spilled down her bruised face. I don't have anything. No money. No job. Nowhere to go. You have more than you think. And there are people who want to help. Let me tell you about a foundation that helped me. As I talked, I thought about that black sedan pulling up in the rain. How I thought it was the end. How it had actually been the beginning. My grandmother never got to hold my hand. But she held it anyway across time, across regret, across death itself. She gave me more than money. She gave me proof that even when we're gone, love can still save people. That night, driving home to our safe house where Emma waited with our babysitter, I passed the cemetery again. I pulled over, rolled down the window, and spoke into the darkness. Thank you, grandmother. I'm paying it forward. Your love didn't end with me. It's multiplying. We're breaking the cycle together. The wind rustled through the trees, and for just a moment, I swear I felt a hand on my shoulder. Gentle, proud, free. We were all finally free.